You're chewing on roasted meat. A tiny piece gets stuck between your teeth. You poke at it with your tongue. It won't move. Hours pass. Now your gums hurt. There's no toothbrush, no toothpaste, no dentist 3 blocks away with free parking. So, what do? More importantly, how did humans keep their teeth alive long before toothbrushes even existed? Here's something strange. Your teeth are one of the few parts of your body that don't repair themselves. Break a bone, it heals. Cut your skin, it grows back. But once a tooth starts decaying, that's usually permanent. Ancient humans didn't know about bacteria. They had no fluoride, no electric toothbrushes, no minty toothpaste promising 12-hour fresh breath. Yet archaeologists have found ancient skulls with surprisingly healthy teeth. Some people lived into old age with most of their teeth still in place. How? Did they actually clean them? If they did, what did they use? Were they rubbing rocks on them? Chewing random plants? Or did they simply accept tooth pain as a normal part of life? The answers turn out to be much stranger than you'd expect. And one of the oldest dental tools ever discovered is still sold in stores today. Let's start much earlier than civilization, before cities, before farming, before writing, back when humans lived as hunter-gatherers. At first glance, you'd expect their teeth to be terrible. No toothbrushes, no toothpaste, no dentists. But many ancient skeletons tell a different story. Researchers studying hunter-gatherer remains found surprisingly low levels of cavities compared to many early farming communities. Why? The answer wasn't better hygiene, it was diet. Think about what they weren't eating. No candy, no soda, no cookies, no sugary cereal, no sticky processed snacks. Most of their food was meat, fish, roots, nuts, berries, and wild plants. Bacteria that cause cavities feed on sugar. Less sugar meant less food for those bacteria. Their teeth still wore down over time because of gritty food and tiny bits of sand from grinding plants. But cavities, often much less common than you'd think. That doesn't mean their mouths were perfect. Food still got trapped. Plaque still formed. Bad breath definitely existed. So they still had a reason to clean their teeth. But what could they possibly use? The answer was usually sitting on the nearest tree. Believe it or not, yes. Long before toothbrush factories existed, people discovered something surprisingly simple: twigs. Across Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and many other regions, people would break off small branches from certain trees. Then they'd chew one end until the fibers spread apart. The result looked surprisingly similar to the bristles on a toothbrush. Today, we call them chew sticks. Researchers have found evidence of their use going back thousands of years. Some trees worked even better than others. Their wood naturally contained compounds that could slow bacterial growth or reduce inflammation in the gums. So people weren't simply scrubbing dirt away. Some were accidentally using nature's own mouthwash. One famous example is the miswak stick. It's still widely used today in many parts of the world. You don't need toothpaste. You chew one end, brush with the fibers, trim it, repeat. Simple, portable, no plastic required. Sometimes the oldest ideas refuse to disappear. But sticks weren't the only tool people shoved into their mouths. Some cultures got much more creative. Different environments produced different solutions. If your forest had useful trees, great. If not, you improvised. Archaeologists and historians have found evidence that people used bird feathers to pick food from between their teeth. Others carved tiny wooden picks. Animal bones sometimes became toothpicks. Thin fish bones could work too. Some cultures used porcupine quills. Others relied on plant fibers. Ancient Romans reportedly enjoyed using toothpicks after meals so much that carrying one became almost fashionable. Not exactly designer accessories, but practical. And remember, getting food stuck between your teeth wasn't only annoying. Left there long enough, it could irritate gums and encourage infection. Removing trapped food mattered, even without understanding germs. Sometimes observation was enough. People noticed, my mouth feels better after I do this. So they kept doing it. Humans have always been excellent at solving problems with whatever happens to be nearby. But cleaning between your teeth is only half the battle. What about the surface itself? That's where things start getting a little weird. Here's where history becomes slightly uncomfortable. Ancient toothpaste recipes were experimental. Some cultures mixed crushed charcoal with water. Others used powdered eggshells, burnt animal bones, ground shells, salt, ash, even crushed oyster shells. The idea wasn't completely crazy. Many of these materials acted like abrasives. They scraped stains and build up from the teeth. The problem? Some mixtures were far too rough. Imagine brushing your teeth with fine sandpaper every day. Your teeth might look cleaner, but you'd slowly wear away the enamel protecting them. Still, not every recipe was harmful. Ancient Egyptians developed some surprisingly advanced tooth-cleaning powders thousands of years ago. Later, civilizations experimented constantly, adjusting ingredients based on experience rather than science. Nobody knew exactly why certain mixtures worked. They only knew their mouths felt cleaner afterward. And surprisingly, one ingredient people still use today has ancient roots: charcoal toothpaste. Modern versions are much safer and much more refined, but the basic idea is incredibly old. Yet all these cleaning methods raise an even bigger question. If ancient people didn't know bacteria existed, why did they bother cleaning at all? This might be the most human part of the story. They didn't need microscopes. They had mouths. Think about it. Leave food stuck in your teeth overnight. How does your mouth feel the next morning? Sticky, rough. Your breath? Not exactly fresh. Your gums might even ache. Ancient people noticed those same changes. Cleaning made their mouths feel smoother. Chewing became easier. Their breath improved. Pain sometimes decreased. Over generations, those habits spread. Parents taught children. Communities copied successful ideas. Knowledge passed from one generation to the next. No one needed to explain dental plaque with scientific diagrams. Experience was enough. Sometimes the best discoveries happen centuries before anyone understands why they work. And that brings us to one surprising twist. Here's the part almost nobody expects. For most of human history, toothbrushes weren't actually the biggest reason people had healthier teeth. Diet was. When agriculture spread around the world, people started eating more grains. Later came refined sugar. Then sweets became common. Suddenly, cavity rates exploded. The toothbrush didn't appear because human teeth suddenly became dirtier. It became more necessary because our food changed. In other words, modern diets created many of the dental problems modern toothbrushes are designed to fight. So, how did humans clean their teeth before toothbrushes? Not with one magical invention. With observation, with sticks, with fibers, with toothpicks, with simple abrasive powders, and sometimes by eating foods that naturally caused fewer cavities in the first place. They didn't defeat tooth decay. Many people still lost teeth. Infections could become deadly. Dental pain could be miserable, but humans were never completely helpless. They experimented, adapted, shared what worked, and little by little, those simple habits evolved into the toothbrush sitting beside your sink today. Every morning when you brush your teeth in 2 minutes, you're continuing a routine that's been evolving for thousands of years. Only your version comes with softer bristles and probably tastes a lot better. If you enjoyed discovering one of history's forgotten mysteries, make sure you subscribe because there are hundreds more hiding in plain sight.